I love that Conor is mad enough to throw dollies through the guy's bus. Khabib is already saying, I want to torture him. I want to torture Conor. And that's his fighting style. Like, one of the interesting things about Khabib is fighters are dodging him, right? Max Holloway is perhaps, he's in the argument of best fighter alive right now, right? He's in that. It could be DJ, I don't know. But Max Holloway is in that short list conversation. But no one's dodging him. Everybody wants a shot at the belt. With Khabib, they're literally just like, no, fuck no, anything but I'll fight anyone else. A night in the octagon with him sounds awful.
Yeah, it is awful. It doesn't just sound awful. It looks awful.
Yeah.
Like Taylor, if you're interested in this Khabib guy, there's a free fight on YouTube right now. It's Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson is top 10 guy for sure. I think maybe he was ranked 7th during the fight. Mm-hmm. Good striker, very strong guy. He's a well-known fighter. You know, he's not the creme de la creme, but he's certainly not the bottom of the barrel. It is brutal.
Khabib is beat out of him.
Habib gets him down on the ground against the fence, and he's dropping like it's sort of a forearm kind of thing. He's dropping like this part of his arm, like the blade, on his face repeatedly while talking to him. And just on the other, there happened to be on the part of the cage where Dana White, the guy who owns a large percentage of the UFC and sort of is the face, is right there too. And as he's beating him, he's like, "I must fight for belt. You know this. Give up. Give up." And just bam, bam, bam. He's like, "You know I earned this. You know I earned it." And he's like, "Give up." And Michael Johnson is so like cramped up that all he can do is come up with a little bitch slap. And he like bitch slaps Khabib. And Khabib goes, "All right." Wham, 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 wham. And hit it like 12 more times. And then he starts talking to Dana between the rounds. He's like, "I am going to beat your boy. I am going to smash him. I'm going to smash him. Give him to me." And Dana's like, "Just finish the fight you're in. I'm going to smash your boy. I'm going to smash him." Like talking about Conor. It's great. It's great. Like he's giving common. You don't see that much. Like fighters talk shit. The Diaz brothers talk a whole mess of shit. Like they'll be beating people up. Like, "Oh, you not so tough now, are you, bitch? Compton, motherfucker!" And they'll bitch slap a guy on it like in stand up. Like instead of throwing a punch.
Yeah, I'm watching a I guess shortened highlights version of this fight with Khabib and Michael Johnson. Ooh. And I don't know if there was a point where Michael Johnson was doing well, but it's not in this video. if there was, because he's getting the shit kicked out of him.
There was a brief moment where Michael hit Khabib while they were standing up, punched him in the face, and Khabib got a little wobbly. Mm-hmm. That was it. That was the only time where you were like, "Ooh." But then it was just Khabib had him on the ground, and there's something to be said, and everyone says it about Khabib. Like when he's on you, it feels like there's two of him on you. The way it's like being ran over by a truck slowly. That like you can't
ran over by a truck slowly. He looks like a very strong guy. Like he was doing whatever Russians do, like farm labor.
He was wrestling bears, actually. He is the one who was wrestling bears as a child. There's video of that. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yeah. Oh,
if that's true, then there's not a fighter on the planet who probably scares that guy. He's like, "You're not even bear. How long you tell?" "Do your jaws crush bone?" "No, I did not think so."
I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know what kind of so there's a warrant out for Conor McGregor's arrest right now. Based on the internet, he's still on the lam. He's hiding from the police. I guess he has a private jet or something. They stopped the jet on the tarmac, and they're not letting him leave the country. And that's his.
On like a fucking Segway. Start the plane.
What was me decoy jet?
I purchased a paramotor. I'm going the long route.
He'll get 15
just 20
miles
to
offshore.
Mexico. Yeah,
I never encountered 18-mile-an-hour headwinds. I'm fucked. Yeah.
Dude, I'm so into it. I fucking love the UFC for this. Like the fights that mean something. That when the fighters dislike each other, when there's actual bad blood. Like I said, like watching Khabib and Max Holloway cut weight together, knowing they share a nutritionist, like even you watch the press conferences and stuff, they're so polite. Khabib is rightfully so, by the way, very thankful for Max Holloway stepping in and saving this fight, this card, the whole thing, because he's devoted a huge amount of effort toward like getting into shape, getting the weight cut and everything. getting this payday, right? And if they throw in like, I don't know who was going to go in there. They talked to a bunch of people.
Eddie Alvarez and Brian Ortega.
Barbosa? Okay.
And watching this guy fight a baby bear in a tracksuit is the most Russian video I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's safe though because the bear's on a leash.
Yeah. Well, normally they keep Khabib on a leash. They just took it off for the fight there.
Well, we were all leash children, I'm sure, right?
Dude, watch Khabib do actual wrestling stuff. Like he goes for a single leg.
Yeah.
You know, he's like spinning on the guy.
The bear was too, though. The bear seemed to know a little jujitsu.
They're natural
not
grapplers.
The first time he's been beaten up by a child.
Yeah, the bear's like throwing its legs back when it sees the double leg coming in.
Yeah,
it collapse on him.
Come into my bear guard,
dude. Watching this is fun to watch, and Khabib's been doing these moves since he was a little kid.
Yeah,
the bear just pulled the double leg. That's great.
Oh, the bear's got full mount.
And now he ate his face. The bear ate his face. Like that's what you would expect to happen, right?
My grandpa said you need no more than 9 fingers to fight effectively. You get 1 strike.
That was old school Conor. Old school Conor used to go for any challenge and stuff. It's funny. So Conor was up against Cole something. Do you remember Cole's last name, Kyle? The tall, thin guy? No. You may be thinking of Matt Hamill.
Covington?
No,
I'm just thinking of guys named Cole.
Nah, that's Colby anyway. Anyway, he was up against Cole Miller, and Cole Miller damaged his thumb, couldn't take the fight. Well, it turns out Conor also damaged his thumb in the same fight, fought anyway with like a broken thumb. And he's like, you don't need a thumb to fight. Who needs a thumb to fight? And it was just like that. Used to love old school Conor was great, but current Conor just fucking snorts coke off women's titties or something. Like I haven't seen him fight since 2000.
You haven't seen him snort this coke off titties either. You're so mean to Conor.
I saw the pictures. No, that's like a real thing.
Well, if his life is now snorting coke off of really hot women's titties, why would he want to go back into the ring?
No, that's a fair question.
I've got enough coke for enough money for coke till the end of my days, which will be faster because I'm doing lots of coke.
You only need 3 years supply of coke if you do this much coke.
And he's got enough for all of his bitches.
Tony,
he's got. Is he married or no?
Yeah, he's got a girlfriend.
I don't know if he's married or just engaged, but yeah, he just had a baby with this woman that he's supposed to be loyal to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Conor a lot. I feel like whenever he has a great challenge in front of him, he takes it. But he's got both of the belts. He hasn't accepted any fights from these guys. But I think it's more about the money than anything. I think if they paid him his worth, as he always says, he'd fight just about anybody. He just wants more money. He just fought Mayweather and made just a gang of money, right?
Why do they allow you to say no? Like if they're like, all right, now Khabib is challenging you for the 155 belt. He's like, no. They're like, oh, rats. He didn't say like.
That's the.
Why would they allow that?
So what they can do is they can deny him from fighting another person. They can deny him fighting in another organization. But it literally falls under the anti-slavery thing where, like, even if they have a contract, they can't compel him to take it. And on a similar note, like, if I'm a hotel or something and I have a comedian booked, I can say, look, you can't go anywhere else until you fulfill this contract, but I can't make him fulfill that contract. Otherwise, it's slavery.
Okay, I guess that makes sense, but it's pretty annoying.
Well, he wants it. Well, see, it's a weird industry, right? It's not like he's a lawyer or something who has like a rate, and he's refusing to go like represent you in court for his $550 an hour. There's this floating pay scale, and he's this guy who sometimes gets between 1.2 million and 1.6 million buys per pay-per-view, and he wants a chunk of that, 60 times $1.5 million.
It's just noteworthy. He literally does have a rate. Like he has a rate. He has a contract for and how much he'll be paid. He just says no until they pay more.
Yeah, exactly.
He agreed to fight for X, and he's like, 4X or fuck off. And they're like, but we have a deal. And a lot of fighters do that. And when you fight Conor, you're like, all right, Taylor, you make X. Well, I'm fighting Conor this time. I need 2X. And they get it.
It's only fair. I feel like it's fair because he's not the same. He's not. Why should he have to abide by the same deal that he had it, 3 years ago, when he's not the same man he was 3 years ago, promotionally speaking. Like, he has done so much for them. It seems only right that they're like, hey, holy shit, we sell like 50% more pay-per-views when you come on board to a card. Like, we're literally adding fans to this thing. You're at Brock Lesnar, better than Ronda Rousey numbers. Like, you're the guy. You're the guy who brings people to the show. I mean, if he brings at least an extra 500,000 buys, an extra, and I'm a little drunk right now, but that's $300 million in my head, I think. Right?
Sounds right-ish.
Yeah, like
ish.
500,000 times $60. That's.
Would you like me to do it?
Yeah. That's
30 million, right?
Yeah, it's $30 million. So it seems like he should get a chunk of that. I think I added an extra zero in my silliness, but yeah,
first time, not the second.
He should get a chunk of that, and
he does.
A bigger chunk, a significant chunk. Like,
I don't know how they sweeten the deal. I want to say he gets a flat, like he gets a percentage of that above a certain amount. Like let's say hypothetically, the first 500,000 buys, there's no profit sharing, and then from 500,000 and above, there is profit sharing, and he'll just want, like, 15 million plus that other thing. And
he'll want, it depends on the points, right? Like how many, what percentage of pay-per-view does he get? I feel like, if you're like, all right, look at and I saw it posted on Reddit today. I don't know. Did you see the pay-per-view numbers of like the top 5 pay-per-view guys of all time?
No,
it was like GSP.
I didn't see the post you're talking about.
It showed like the top pay-per-view earners of all time. And it showed like, it was cumulative. So it showed all of their fights together. And Anderson Silva was really high up there, but he's got like 12 or 15 pay-per-views. Brock Lesnar, really high up there with only like 6 pay-per-views or something like that. Conor McGregor, way up there with like 4 or 5 pay-per-views, and Ronda Rousey, similar. But Conor, I think, had the highest numbers ever with like 1.6 million buys, which is pretty extraordinary. I think Brock Lesnar was the only one close with maybe 1.5 million buys.